We're that GD podcast.
Dude,
We're that GD podcast.
let's just record ourselves
We're
singing,
that GD
acapella.
podcast.
I got some guys.
Okay, so there was no like.
That's why you're
What age do I teach her about Dutch oven?
prepping your meat
I was prepping my meat
in the kitchen.
in the kitchen.
Okay. It's something that girls don't excel at, and I love your meat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thumbnails are.
Do you want to sit on my lap for a thumbnail?
What?
Is that not how it goes? No.
You guys are gonna get canceled real fast. Do not say that.
You got notes.
I got notes.
I'd like to just take a moment to respect the fact that Kyle didn't make it tonight. I'm watching the Cowboys and the Giants right now on my phone, which he could be doing with us, but he wanted to really focus on the game from his couch.
He did.
And the Cowboys are barely beating the Giants. It's quite awesome.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay, I benched Ferguson last week because he was injured the week before, and I was like, okay, you were
Oh,
injured.
it was last week when you lost to me, or was that? That was last week. Okay, just
last
checking.
week I lost to you. Hey, it was a tight game
Okay.
till the very end.
That's what you can tell yourself.
You know it was.
And so going into Monday night, there were 2 Monday night games, and I was going to whip you. Like, it wasn't even it wasn't worth watching. And then at one point late in the second game, we were 1/10 of a point apart. And luckily I had Joe Mixon, and he touched the ball 3 or 4 times on the final drive, including a touchdown. But yeah, other than that, for a second, I was like, and it's all Trevor Lawrence's fault. I'll never draft Trevor Lawrence again. He's very upsetting to me right now.
That's because your brother-in-law told you to.
My wife made me do it at the draft. I was waiting on Josh Allen, and my wife was like, "Get Trevor," and I did it. I don't know why I did. That's why you don't bring your wife to the draft. That should be a firm rule, and Kyle encourages wives of the draft, and it's not the way it's supposed to be, is all I'm saying.
I mean, my wife was there, but she didn't tell me to draft anybody.
You know, your wife should teach my wife about draft etiquette. She's going to be mad when I say that. But
Yeah, that's okay. I can leave it in.
yeah, I didn't have to draft him, but she talked me into it, so my season's going to go down because of Trevor Lawrence, and I'm going to tell her about it every week.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, now, you had a super awesome intro to the show today that you wouldn't tell me in advance.
Yeah.
I've been on the edge of my seat ever since you mentioned that.
I'm glad that you've been on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a super itchy butthole? Just like it hits you out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it's painful and itchy.
Yeah.
I had that on the way back from Kansas City. I could not, and I was wearing jeans. I'm driving. I could not get it. I'm sure the truckers passing me were like, "What is that guy?"
Were you
doing?
like hunched over on one cheek trying to?
Yes, I was leaning like practically out the window trying to get it, and then like when I leaned over, my jeans got taut. So there was no like.
That's why you don't wear jeans.
I just got off work.
Change at a gas station into some comfy, like, you know, when people like get into certain clothes for flying, like, that's how I am about road trips. Like if I'm driving to Texas to go straight to an event, I will wear like road trip clothes until I'm like 30 minutes from the event, and then I'll pull into a Buc-ee's or whatever and go in and change. But like if I'm driving for more than an hour, I'm in stretchy pants.
Okay, so
That's
like
a rule.
here's my thing about like flying in stretchy pants.
Okay,
I tend to fall asleep on the airplane.
that's perfect.
Morning wood. How do you deal with like if I'm sitting next to someone and I just got this like boner? Like how do I deal with that?
If it's a dude, that's a problem. But if it's a girl, you just like smile and then, you know, see how it goes.
Yeah, but I'm Asian.
We're so nobody's gonna notice. Yeah, you're fine.
Fair enough.
We don't have this problem. I don't. I'm not worried about waking up and everybody on the plane has noticed my morning wood. I wish I had that problem, but it's
So okay, what made me think of that part was I started watching Curb.
Okay.
And the very first episode, he sits down in those corduroys, and
The
he's
ones
like,
that
and
pitch
he's
a
like,
tent.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You see this?" And then it was like the whole awkward thing at the movie theater and everything like that.
Yep.
And it made me think about that. So, but yeah, the itchy butthole was on the drive down here.
So my buddy Clint used to just refer to that as the red ass, and like randomly he would just be like, "Hey, what's going on, Clint?" And he'd be like, "Oh, I've got some red ass," and I just okay, and that was the end. Like there was no need to talk further about it, but
I just want to know what causes it. Is like, did I not wipe well?
I think so.
But why was it not itchy all day? It was just random onset itchy butthole.
Dude, there's when I was in Texas, the center, Travis Frederick was the center for the Dallas Cowboys, and he was sponsored by, it was like, it wasn't Dude Wipes, but it was something similar to that, but it was like those little moist towelettes you get at Hooters or something?
Yeah.
It was like you buy a box of however many of those and you keep them in your pocket, and it was like to have a wet nap to wipe your rear with after going. And I remember when he first started, he was on all the local radio stations, like pitching that basically. And I was like, I would never be caught dead with that. But as I've gotten older and now I'm into my 40s, I'm like, that's a hell of a product. Like, I wish I remember the name of it. It would come in handy often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could call it the handy Andy wipe.
My stepdad, I hope he's going to see this. But in my 20s, there was 3 or 4 times where I'd be at his house and he would come running out of the barn like clenched ass, like hauling ass from the barn. And I'd be like, what are you doing? And after a while, we just knew. We were like, oh, Drew shit himself again. And it was something we gave him shit for all the time. And I think I'm at the age now where not yet, but I think I'm going to regret it eventually. Like, I think there's going to come a moment where it's like, I pulled a Drew.
Is that what we're going to refer to it as, a pull the Drew?
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to call my stepdad and tell him that I can't give him shit anymore. So he's going to love hearing this. Don't cut this.
Is his name Andrew?
No, it's Drew. Dude, we were talking about changing names earlier. I wanted to change my name for a while, and at one point I was like, Drew. My real name is Andrew, so I could be Andrew, Andy, or Drew. And then he became my stepdad, and it became weird at that point. Like, I'm naming myself after him, so
gotcha.
Didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Also, I have to say for the camera, I'm going to keep forgetting. We have 3 cameras to look at today.
3. This one, that one.
I don't know which one to look at. But also, the Cowboys are down here struggling to beat the Giants. So you'll know, I'm not going to give scoring updates, but if you see me getting like giddy, like if you see that I'm unreasonably happy, that means the Cowboys are not doing well. So just like to point that out.
I'm just glancing over because I need Ferguson to get some points.
Yeah.
I cannot lose to the guy that's 0-3, Louderback. Not that you're watching this.
Good luck. I hope the Cowboys offense does nothing. So congratulations.
If he only passes to Ferguson, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, well, again, good luck. I'm rooting for them to have no success. I don't want any completed passes for the rest of the game.
You always do that.
Yeah.
That's actually fine because he's got Prescott.
That's true.
If Prescott could fumble and throw some interceptions, I'm cool with that too.
I'm good with that. We can both root against that Dak Prescott exclusively.
Okay.
Yeah, good deal.
Perfect. Excellent.
So sorry to distract and make this about the Cowboy game.
No, you're all good. You apologize too much. I noticed that listening to the podcast. You said sorry after every time you talked.
I'm going to work on that.
You should.
And next time I start to say sorry, I'm just going to say, fuck you. That'll be.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that's the other extreme.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
I'm cool with that.
So.
I'm cool with that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to That GD Podcast. Today, I'm just joined with Andy.
Yeah.
Because Kyle wanted to watch the Dallas Cowboys lose and focus on it. But we're glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in for another random episode of maybe a girl dad topic, but we're just girl dads chatting. This is our getaway or escape from the fam.
I'm away from my child for the first time in like 3 weeks tonight, and it's like I'm out at a party right now. So thanks for having me over.
You're welcome. It's like a rave with the lights.
Exactly.
Not really a rave. But yeah, the itchy butthole. That's it hit me hard.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I also kind of thought I crapped myself. Maybe I also thought I pulled a Drew. And I didn't.
Normally, when I'm faced with the itchy asshole, like the first thing I do is head to the toilet and give like a thorough wiping even if nothing's happened. Like, let's just go make sure that's clean.
Yeah.
That's when those wet nap things would come in handy.
You ever tried a bidet?
No, so 2 of my buddies both live in Colorado and both have bidets, and they've tried to get me to try it. Now, both of them up till this point had that shitty one that like you can buy and put on any toilet. It's it's like $20 at Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, if I'm going to use a bidet, like for my first time, I want it to be a real bidet.
You want it to be the bidet next to the toilet?
My stepsister's wedding was at a beautiful house on Eagle Mountain Lake in Texas. And I had to go to it's one of those crowded house full of people. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I was trying to sneak around and find like the furthest bathroom away from everybody else.
Right.
And the bathroom I went into was one of those fancy Japanese toilets where there was like a tablet built into the wall with buttons. Okay. And it freaked me out so bad that I just held it for the entire wedding. Because there was no toilet paper. There was not toilet paper anywhere. It was a straight.
Is it one of the ones that like sprays you in the butthole to like a jet stream, and then it has like a air vent to dry it off?
I wouldn't doubt it. It seemed highly expensive and intimidating, and I as bad as I had to go, I decided to hold it versus trying to figure that out. So one day.
Did it also? Like, did you explore the options, or you just avoid the toilet?
As soon as I was trying to figure out where toilet paper was for like 3 minutes, and when I realized there was none, that's when I kind of took a look at the screen, and the screen had different options for how you wanted to be cleaned, and yeah, I was out at that point.
Travel size.
Yeah, dude wipes. Anybody that's as a girl dad, like having baby wipes around was awesome for all kinds of reasons. And there's a part of me that wishes I still had baby wipes, like just around, just in case. I'm gonna start doing that.
Do you know they still sell them at the store?
Oh, I know they do, but they sell
okay.
they sell dude wipes at Academy,
Yeah.
and they're twice as much, but the same exact thing. But they're in like a cool black package.
Black package. Yeah.
Makes it nice. So
Black things are cool. Hence the black rim.
yeah, I hope our first sponsor is somebody having to do with like some kind of dude wipe or anti-itchy asshole cream.
Let's just make dude wipe commercials
Okay, I'm down. This has pretty much been a dude wipe commercial.
for a solid 10 minutes. Yes.
Next topic. What else you got?
Dude wipes.
Yeah.
No, okay, so on the way, I had 4 hours. We got to do our
Oh, geez, yep. Sound spike.
sound spike.
Hold on, let me.
Please wait. You said you had TX today?
I do. I have TX because I was in a hurry. We had our daughter's soccer practice tonight. Oh, up.
You're
Sound
jumping the gun on the sound
Sorry,
spike.
I'm with it.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Close enough.
Yep.
It's loud.
And
That's
I'll get
to
that whiskey
sync
for
up
you.
the audio with the video.
But yeah, I had to
think.
run home, and I have like a decent liquor cabinet going, but I was in a hurry to get my stuff and turn around, and that was just the first thing I saw. And I love TX. I'm not. It's nothing fancy, and the people that don't like it say they don't like it because it's too sweet. It's got like a hint of vanilla to it,
Okay.
but I like that. So
Vanilla's not bad.
yeah,
Dude, I was buying a deodorant that had vanilla in it, and I felt less manly buying it, but it smelled wonderful.
I gotta say, so this morning I ran to get new deodorant, and I bought my deodorant on Amazon for like the last 2 years because
Yeah.
I get it's easy to go into my history and see the kind I got last time, so I haven't looked. And today I needed some, and I happened to be at a grocery store, and I was laughing because I haven't looked at all the different scents, and I use Old Spice,
Yeah.
and it was like Bear Glove, and like just there was 15 different flavors of deodorant, and I couldn't remember which one I normally buy, so I got some kind of whatever it was had a manly name to it.
Bear
Find out if it's
Glove.
any good or not. I should make my wife go because I don't care what my armpits smell like. She's the only one that might care.
Right.
So
So I've been getting the Old Spice with lavender
okay,
because that was close to vanilla. I don't know. Oddly enough, I've had this deodorant discussion with several people, and I have a friend who is an Army Ranger, and I was overhearing and I was eavesdropping on his conversation, and he got this brand called Milk and Honey and swears by it.
but it's good for your skin.
It is good for your skin. It's got all natural stuff, none of the aluminum and all that jazz. So I got on Amazon and ordered me a little tub of it. The weird part is it's not a stick. So you have to scoop it out with your finger, and you're rubbing
That's odd.
your finger on your armpit.
Again, real quick, this is a conversation we were talking about last time that like our dads in the 80s, 90s would have never been having. Like,
No.
I use this kind of soap because it's real good on my skin.
No, it's
Like, I
Irish
can't-
Spring.
That's totally a 2024 like dad conversation. It's like, ooh, I have a hydrating body wash.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of that, no, I stumbled onto an Old Spice body wash that's like a super hydrating one. And now if I run out and I use any other body wash, like my skin doesn't feel right. And I realize that makes me a wimp, but at the same time, like I enjoy my body wash.
I mean, it does make you a wimp,
Yeah.
but you enjoy your body wash.
Enjoy it. I have a loofah too. I don't use it, but I have it.
So I have a friend who moved here from Dallas. And when he moved here, I asked him, hey, do you need anything from Walmart? I'll meet you, take you like at your apartment, and then I'll drive your U-Haul back. And then we can I'll follow you in the U-Haul. I can pick you up and drive you back to your apartment because he was in downtown Tulsa. So we dropped off the U-Haul, got in my truck, and started heading back towards downtown. I was like, hey, man, there's not a Walmart downtown or anything like that. Do you need anything from Walmart for your new apartment? And he said, actually, as a matter of fact, I do.
A loofah.
And so I said, well, let's go to Walmart. So we go to Walmart, and in the vehicle, as we're going to Walmart, I was just trying to make small talk because my fraternity brother from college. And I was like, must suck moving here from Dallas because it's not as exciting as Dallas. He said, yeah, it's not that bad. Tulsa's kind of cool. And I was like, yeah, it is pretty cool, I guess. And then I was just silent and said, so did you leave a girlfriend behind or anything? That kind of probably sucks. And he goes, nah, man, I'm gay. And I was like, I know. I knew he was gay from many, many years before. Not because he tried to sleep with me. He had mannerisms that were you're totally gay. But whatever. And I said, yeah, okay, I know. So that came out, right? He came out of the closet, whatever you say. And it was real. I was like, that's cool, man. Let's go. on to Walmart. We go into Walmart. We're walking around. He said, I need to get some shampoo and conditioner and body wash. And I was all right, cool. And you know, like how Walmart has the center caps or the center aisle, like to make you buy crap you don't actually need. We're walking past and they had a big old bin of loofahs. So the 4-year-old me was like, touch all the loofahs. So I'm touching them. And then I picked one up and I said, hey, do you need one of these? He looked me dead in the eyes and said, I'm not that gay.
Thought you were going the other way with that. So
And I said, I have one of these.
yeah, yeah.
What do you do when a gay man says, I'm not that gay?
I'm not as gay as you. Basically, is what he said.
I guess that means I was gay. Anyway.
I think it does. Sorry, I'm going to back up on your story about moving from Dallas to Tulsa, though.
Yeah.
I'll say that. By the way, I'm starting a new, I don't know if you see my hat. I got Oklahoma up here.
Yeah.
Nobody has Oklahoma pride up here. Like in Texas, everything is about Texas and having pride in where you're from and the Texas emblem on shirts and hats. And I don't see that in Oklahoma at all. And I found this hat. So I've decided I'm going to start having like unknown Tulsa pride, like unwarranted. Just
I will say my favorite flag is the Tulsa flag. It looks awesome.
the Tulsa flag. I know what the Oklahoma flag looks like.
The Tulsa flag looks cool.
Okay, you're going to have to put that on the screen.
I'll put that on the screen for you all. It looks really cool.
No, that's but no, like Tulsa's a cool city. When I first found out I was moving to Oklahoma, like I would have never picked to move to Oklahoma. Like we got moved up here for a work type transfer, and when I found out I was moving to Oklahoma, I was not happy about it at all. Like, and then we drove up to Tulsa a couple times. I'd only ever seen the Oklahoma City side of the state, and it's very flat and not attractive over there. But when we came up the first time, you drive through the Wichita Mountains, the Boston Mountains.
Mountains.
They're close to, they're more than what I had in Texas.
Yes.
But no, Tulsa's a cool city. It's kind of a hidden gem where people that like have been there will tell, like I meet people every now and then outside of Tulsa that are like, oh my God, Tulsa, like I visited, it's great. But if you've never been to Tulsa, it's easy to just say, oh, it's Oklahoma. And if you don't live in Oklahoma, your opinion of Oklahoma is not high.
You remember Daniel Tosh?
Yeah.
When Tosh
Daniel
went up?
Tosh,
Yeah. Okay. So there was in one of his stand-ups, he was talking about living in California and having beautiful scenery. And then he kind of like pans to the camera and goes, Tulsa. And went on. And that was before I moved here. And then when I decided to move here, that was the only thing running through my head was just,
Yep.
Daniel Tosh doesn't like Tulsa.
No, it's a cool city. It's got a cool downtown. It's got like the small city vibes, but with some big city stuff. Like, I'm a fan. I'm gonna start being unreasonably pro Tulsa just for a while.
I will not support you in that at all.
Okay, well, get ready.
But we do have an awesome park, a really, really awesome park. That's some incredible. There's a lot of rich families in Tulsa. I'm sure that's like the same for a bunch of cities across the nation. But they donated acres upon acres and money to build this really awesome park called the Gathering Place. So if you're ever wondering, like, what should I do with a family trip?
What's his name? I actually he's like he was an oil guy that now he's very what they call it, philanthropic with his money and just gives it away left and right. But yeah, I think it was a total of $300 and something million. Was his original investment to build the park. And then he stuck like another $10 million in and was like, let me know when you run out of money to maintain it.
Yeah.
And the whole mentality of it is it's a park for everyone. So there's shuttles that run from like the inner city all day long for free to pick up the kids like in the poorer parts of town and drop them off and take. Yeah. So that's what I love about it is it truly is. It's for everyone. So, and it's got some real cool stuff.
Really, really cool stuff. Really cool jungle gyms. I wish that, like, I grew up in Albuquerque. I wish we had jungle gyms like that. The only jungle gym we had was at the school I told you about that I lived behind. And so it was like your typical, like, half dome jungle gym. And then what seemed to me, and I'm trying to recall, and like memories are real fuzzy, you know, I'm trying to recall how big this slide was. It seemed like it was 100 feet tall. It was probably 12. But it was that.
When you're little, it seemed huge.
Yeah, it seemed huge. It was scary to be up there, but it was all stainless steel. So it's one of those ones in the summer, you play on it at your own risk. Like, do I want to lose 3 layers of skin to go down this massive slide? The answer was always yes.
The playground equipment we had as kids, or I know you're not as old as me, but it wouldn't be allowed today. It'd be a safety hazard. They wouldn't let them play on any of it. But I think I saw recently merry-go-rounds are no more. Like that's just something
Haven't seen one.
Yeah, they're just too dangerous. Can't trust the kids with them.
They exist in Russia.
Well, it's Russia. So
Everything exists in Russia. So yeah, but so the topics, right? We kind of got sidetracked there. Welcome to our podcast. So amongst them, we have a few. I don't think we should talk about them all. Save a couple for
Absolutely,
Kyle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Kyle, where are you, buddy? We need you.
Miss you.
Yeah.
We miss you. All right. Serious topic and then a funny topic.
Okay.
Because I got two serious, two funny. Not too funny, TOO. One, in raising our kids, I have found, and this is probably from my dad, was I tell my kids after they do something, like specifically my older one, I'll tell her, hey, I'm really proud of you. Like, that looks fantastic. You did great work. Do you do that with Lennon?
I get in trouble for that. Not in trouble. My wife is very kind about it, but she has told me numerous times, she's going to get mad at me for this, but she's told me before, you're not supposed to say, I guess, like, I'm proud of you. You're supposed to say, aren't you proud of yourself? Or there's a certain way. To me, that's the same thing. But apparently doing it the other way, the way I don't do it, teaches them to, I guess, appreciate it for themselves. You might know more than I.
And I was listening to not a podcast, but like a YouTube short or a Facebook reel or something. And this lady was on there, and this is kind of what made me think about it. And they were saying essentially, it was a female. Maybe it's just a female thing that has this idea. But she was saying, asking the child, how do you feel about the work you did? Mm-hmm. And apparently what it's supposed to do is if you do it regularly through their formative years, it's supposed to give them this understanding of like, I should not put too much weight in what others think of the work I performed. I should first look at how I feel. And if I feel I could have done better, then it's like a self-evaluation. I could have done better. And then you do better. But if you're reliant on hearing, it looks so good from everyone, that's all you're going to do. And I think that's kind of
so you're
what
seeking
society
approval.
is. Seeking approval, yeah. And then that's
sense.
like with these Facebook posts and everything like that. You're just seeking approval. Mm-hmm. My kids don't have social media that I'm aware of, but it puts this in their mind of I'm constantly seeking others' approval when you should just be approved, like having the approval from yourself. Which I do. My dad told me he was proud of me all the time and stuff. But I think there was a happy balance, and I might be overdoing it because now that my dad's passed, I think back to all those times, and it feels really good to be like, I know without a shadow of a doubt he was proud of me because he told me so much. So I'm just trying to make sure that my children will have that whenever I pass. But maybe it's to their detriment.
See, and I think that there's two different ways it can go. And I probably am misremembering a little bit, but it was one of those where I was always seeking my father's approval. And if I didn't do good, he would let me know. And if I did good, it was more just of that's what you're supposed to do. So whereas I felt like that was lacking in my childhood, now I'm overdoing it to my child. And I'm way probably too much expressing, that was so good. I'm so proud of you. And there's times like this last weekend, and you got to see it. Like my kid, she had 2 soccer games out of town, hurt her foot in the first one.
Right.
We've been talking a lot about like team and what it means to be a good teammate. And she played through the second half of the first game hurt, and then played the entire second game hurt because they would have only had one substitute if she wasn't. Or she
We would
had
have no subs
Yeah.
if she was out.
So she fought through the pain and ended up scoring a goal in the second game.
Beautiful.
So after that game, it's like there's no way that I'm not going to immediately say like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. And like I told her as soon as we got in the car, I was like, we're going for ice cream. You did great. I'm so proud of you. And then I'm remembering my wife saying like, oh, don't say that. And it's like, no, but I am. Like I want her to know that I am. So I think there is legit reasons to do like they're saying, but at the same time, like I want my kid to know I'm proud of him.
So it's like when do you do it and how frequent maybe is more important.
Yeah, not just every day. Like I'm proud of you. You put your shoes on and got ready for school.
Right, not the trivial things, but the big things. And the goal was fantastic. Someone came in, the keeper, it bounced off the keeper, came to Lennon's feet. She set up with a one touch and then took the shot from the top of the box. And I have not seen her because she scored last turkey trot. So last November, she scored her first goal ever.
Yeah.
But she was pretty much just in front of the goal.
Yeah, she was in the right spot, which that's another thing that I talked about all the time. Be where you're supposed to be. If you're where you're supposed to be, good things will happen. And this year it's really clicking where she knows exactly where she's supposed
regularly
to be.
crashing the box, which is good. She's going to get some like rebounds. Mm-hmm. Is that what you call it in soccer? Yeah, Kyle?
Sounds right to me. Kyle's not here. Dang it.
He's our soccer guru.
But no, and that's what kills me is it's one of those where it's like, to me, it's the same thing. Like I'm very proud of you, or aren't you proud of yourself? Like if I'm asking her, aren't you proud of yourself? Then clearly I'm saying there should be. Maybe there's a different way to word it, but like I struggle with what is the difference, and is it really making a psychological impact on her if I say it the slightly wrong way?
Right. Maybe
Could
you
be.
could say, is there anything that you're proud of from your performance today?
Okay, and like I said, I see the value in it, but again, if she does something awesome, there's no way I'm not telling her that she did something awesome.
Yeah, Amelia scored too, and she doesn't score often. She usually plays keeper, but hers was like right place, right time, and just tapped it in.
No, and she was right where she needed to be, and that's 99% of it. So
Yeah.
And real quick, have you ever heard of this? I have a friend who's tried to explain this to me numerous times, and let's see, look at the right camera. I'm sorry because I'm gonna mess this up if you watch this episode. That one, okay.
That one's pointed right at you.
I apologize for how bad I'm gonna mess this up, but it's called person first language. I probably said that wrong.
Person first.
But instead of saying that disabled person, you would say that person with a disability.
Oh.
And it's just flipping. You're saying the person first and then what they have. And she's explained this to me a bunch, and I believe her that that's probably more PC. I don't get how it makes a difference. And like I say that with all respect. It's like she's explained it to me, and I sit there and nod, and at the end I'm like, so it's either that person with Down syndrome or that Down syndrome person over there. And one of them is wrong and one of them is right. And I know she's explained it to me enough to where I know what it is, but in just if I'm out in public and I'm talking to you, like I'm gonna screw it up. And it's like I want to be good at it, but it's hard. And also it's one of those where I'm like I don't clearly see the difference. So
You listen to Bill Burr.
I love Bill Burr.
So he has a bit about that.
About race.
With
Yeah.
race. He's like, white guys just they preempt the MFer instead of saying it afterwards,
Yeah.
and that's the difference.
Yeah, white guys say that Asian MFer. Or
No,
white
MF
guy,
Asian.
White guys say that MF and Asian, whereas black guys say that
Asian,
Asian MFer. And
yeah.
one's right and one's wrong.
The black guys are right on
Yeah.
this one. It sounds much cooler.
It does. And it doesn't sound like you're attacking the person. It's just, and they also happen to be Asian.
Right. Yes.
Yes, as opposed to you think they're an MFer because they're Asian. So same exact thing with the person first language.
Yes.
But that's what I put like effort into that over the last 6 months because I want to get it right.
Yeah.
And like anytime I'm faced with it, I'll say whatever I say, and then immediately I'm like, I didn't say the person first. Like I want to do good at it, I just can't.
So what you're saying is you and I are going to try to, one, person first, if that's the correct one.
Person first language, I think.
Person first language. And two, say we're proud for less but more significant things.
Just save it for the really big moments. And the rest of the time, we're going to quiz them about how they feel about their performance. And that's, if I would have gotten in the car after having like what I thought was a pretty good game as a kid, and I got in the car, my dad goes, I don't know. How do you feel you did? I would immediately be like, oh shit, like I didn't do good enough. Like
That's true. That is true.
yeah, that would be my first reaction. Is after everything I did on the field, he still can't say he's proud of me, and now he's asking me where I could have improved. That's how I would have taken it.
Yeah.
He didn't say all that, but I would have taken it that way.
Yeah.
I don't want that for my kid. Again, I think there's value to what they're saying. I just, yeah.
So I've been trying to keep my oldest one from being cocky
Okay.
because she's good at art. I'm trying not to be biased in this opinion. Objectively speaking, she is good at art. And I feel like a few times she's been like, I'm good at art. And you let other people tell you
Yeah.
that, and then you say thank you. You don't need to tell people you're good at it. Is that something we should curb, or should I encourage that?
No, I would say 100% you're on the right track there. And I use that example all the time. But there's been a guy that's been busy in the limelight in the past 8 years. And he constantly says, because I'm the greatest blah, blah, blah you've ever seen.
Bring it up. Bring it. The voice was almost on point. Bring it up. Go ahead and say his name.
That's my thing with Trump is and whether or not you like him or don't like him, everything, he's like, I'm the best with this. I'm the best with that. And my whole thing is like, if you truly are the best, you don't say it. You let other people say it about you. Enough people are saying it about you to where you don't have to say it yourself. And like, I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
And if ever my kid says like, Dad, I'm one of the best at blah, 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 like I'll immediately take her to YouTube and show her like, no, here's someone who's really good at it. Like you're good for the kids in your class. You're not great. And like, I want to humbling them in that way. I don't think it's, again, you want them to be proud of themselves, but if they cross that line into cockiness, if they start talking like Trump, we gotta, yeah. So sorry, I won't go there again. But
No, well, and there's an old saying, I don't know where it's from, but a lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion.
100%. Yeah.
And that's kind of what I want to instill in my girls is a lion doesn't have to tell you it's a lion. I would like for them to carry themselves, all of my daughters, to carry themselves in a manner that it's like, this is someone who is confident in their abilities. They're not arrogant. They're humble. Mm-hmm. I want them to be successful and leaders in their own right of whatever it is. And whether they want to be a leader or not, being a leader is kind of tough.
Yeah. Well, and you know the saying that the coaches and whatnot will say, act like you've been there before?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's the most stone cold stuff is when someone scores an awesome touchdown and they just kind of give a salute to the fans and they're back on the bench. Like, I do this all day long. This one ain't special compared to the rest. Like, if somebody does that, that's more impressive to me. Unless if it's the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, then celebrate your butt off. But people that go nuts for every play or every Super Bowl, like, act like you've been there before. I'm a big fan of that. So
That's what that phrase means. Yeah. I was today years old.
When you learned that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never really, I've heard it, to which I thought that was hey, we're going to get mentally prepared for what we've been here, like we've been here before. This is a different game. It's the same game as we've always been playing. Just because it has higher stakes or whatever, we're going to act like we've been here before. Let's get rid of the nerves and continue on. That's what I thought it meant.
You can use it in that context, but in that context, you would say, hey, this is just another game. Maybe I'm wrong. I got into it with my wife a couple years ago where I said, we're going to play it by year. And I have been saying that my whole life. We're going to play it by year. Mm-hmm. And I thought that meant we're going to take it day to day. We're going to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And she corrected me and said, you mean play it by ear? And I laughed at her. And I was like, you think it's play it by ear? And I got all shitty about it. And then we looked it up. And I'll say this, if I'm wrong on something, I'll be the first to fully say I'm wrong. And we looked it up. And oh my God, I've been saying that wrong my whole life. And
So what does that mean?
Play it by ear is when you don't need sheet music. You can just hear it and then do it.
Oh.
So we're just going to react as it comes in, I think.
Okay.
That's what is. So the saying is play it by ear.
Well, I knew it was play it by ear, but I didn't know what it meant.
I think that's what it means. It's like, yeah, we're just going to kind of, as it comes in, we're going to act accordingly as the info comes in.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Whereas I thought it was play it by ear makes sense to me still. We're going to take it day to day. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense too. That's kind of reactive.
Yeah. But again, my reaction when my wife said that was to almost berate her and be like, how dumb. I didn't say this, but my tone was, how dumb are you? And then immediately to look it up and go, shit, I'm wrong.
How dumb am I?
Again, if I'm the one that's wrong, I'll 100% claim stupidity. But yeah.
Yes.
So, and I bring that up more than her. So she could rub that in my face all the time, but I bring it up all the time. So
yeah.
Anyhow.
So, okay. So the other one, this might be a shorter podcast because we don't have a third party. Pour one out for our homies. The next one, I wouldn't either. It's tasty. It is tasty.
It's a smooth drinking whiskey.
It is smooth. It's not burning.
If TX wants to send us a case, yes, I love TX. Sorry, go ahead.
We could both get a shot with it. I love TX.
TX is my go-to beverage, and I'm going to drink more of it when I get home. Put that label out. There we go. Okay.
TX.
Second one.
All right. Second topic, maybe a longer one. So I work in construction.
Okay.
You work kind of in construction.
I work in customer service. Like we design houses. I interface with the customer and then I give the list. I give their needs to the designer and let them do the hard work.
Okay.
So it's fun to be like, oh, I design houses, but I don't. I deal with the customer, and then I let the designer do the work.
But you know how to do CAD.
A little bit. I can make small changes to a house. If it's anything big, I send it to a designer.
You're a designer.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I work in construction. I'm an electrician. And if you've never met or been friends with anybody who is in construction, there's a particular sense of humor they have. It's either dark or just make fun of you the entire time.
It's in a lot of male-dominated jobs, whether it's construction or trucking or mechanics.
Yeah.
Like there's certain jobs where ladies are not present very often, and it tends to just kind of snowball. Whereas, So
I work in a male-dominated industry, and I have daughters. So my 12-year-old, and there's not really a question here. Maybe there is as she's developing more into her personality, becoming comfortable in her skin, she jokes around, and I'm watching her sense of humor drift to the construction sense of humor. For example, she's gassy. Like she passes gas. And like, I mean, these are like grown man farts. Like I had to roll the windows down today.
Has she like come over to you and like farted in your face yet?
Not that far yet.
Okay, but we're going that way.
It had not my face. It had happened to Carter. Ainsley did it to Carter and it wasn't well received.
I'll bet. Yeah.
And so that was kind of a stop was put to that one. So she kind of feels like that one's off limits for now.
Real quick, when Lennon was like 3, I was walking through the room and she was like just barely walking around. She was probably 2. And I just walked up and grabbed her head and went and just farted right on her face. And like I got a kick out of it and I started to walk off and I didn't realize my wife was on the couch and she was just like, what the hell? Like to her, that was almost child abuse. Like we almost got divorced over that. And she was just like, what are you doing? And like, I didn't see that she was sitting there and I probably had done it before. That was just the time she caught me, but it was funny. Like to me, that was like, I would have just walked away and giggled and never told anybody about that moment, but I got caught. And that's simply like a male humor kind of thing.
It is very much a male humor thing. So question for you, Andy.
Okay.
Have you ever been asked, do you smell popcorn just randomly?
Normally it's, oh shit, somebody took a fart.
Yeah,
somebody took a fart. Somebody farted. Yeah.
Somebody farted, right?
Yeah.
So I did that to Ainsley and I ripped a silent one. It was god awful. And I said, hey, do you smell popcorn? To which she went, oh my God.
Dude, you don't even have to do the popcorn thing. Eddie Murphy had a bit about this back in the 80s.
Really?
But if you ever tell somebody like, do you smell a fart? Without thinking about it, everybody will instantly go, like to see if there really is a fart or not. Nobody will ever take your word for it and just go, oh, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not going to. No, everybody's first instinct is say, did somebody fart? You'll just say that in a group and you'll notice that everybody will lean in and go, and so, yeah. So you don't even need to trick them with popcorn.
So anyway, yeah, well, I said this to Ainsley. She has now adopted this and is the champion. She'll also just look at me and go and raise her eyebrows a few times. And that the first time she did it, I said, what are you doing? And she just gave me a little smirk and raised her eyebrows a few more times and it hit my nostrils. And oh my God, what did you eat? I got to stop feeding you whatever I'm feeding you. Anyway, this kid, I kid you not, like, do you smell popcorn is her favorite question to ask people. And there's a part of me that's like, I'm proud of you. Yeah. I keep that to myself, but I don't have a son, but you are doing me proud on the son game. Do I stop this?
So I'm going the same route as you. My kid, from the time she was like 5, I would just kind of jab at her verbally. Like, and she used to, Dad's being mean. And my wife was kind of on board and she'd be like, hey, you got to get him back. And so now me and her will have, like, I'll be like, she'll say, Dad, that stinks. And I'm like, your butt stinks. And she's like, your face stinks. And we'll go back and forth. Yeah. And like, it's immature, but also like, I feel sorry for the first boy at school that tries to do that to her because most girls would not have a quick comeback to that. And she is prepared. Like we've been drilling and she's, I'm going to say she's wittier than most girls. And we talked about this at one point, but like, there's way more male comedians than there are female comedians. Like just, it's something that girls don't excel at. And I'm going to say that, I'm going to fix that in a second, but girls don't excel at being like off the cuff shitty to people. Like they might be witty, but they wouldn't be witty in a mean way. Like giving someone a hard time, giving them shit. The couple girls that are like that are stand-up comedians, I think. But I don't think it's not like it's a nature versus nurture type thing, but I think it's one of those where it has to do with how they're brought up.
Yeah.
Like from a young age, most girls, if they try to say something like that, like they're quickly like, don't say that, or that's not polite, or whatever.
Act like a lady.
Yeah. Well, but if you have a boy that does that, I think you have a little bit more leeway for that, especially the dad. Like if the boy says something like that, the dad will let him get away with it, where girls are kind of, maybe times are changing a little bit, but I think for a long time, that wasn't very ladylike to be like that. Yeah. So I would say I'm raising my daughter to a degree in not a very ladylike way, but at the same time, like I love the fact that nobody's going to verbally like smack her down at school. Like she's going to have a comeback and like hopefully she's going to win it. If not, it's going to be a good showing.
Yeah. But so and that's where I'm kind of in those crossroads is do I continue with my awful construction humor that is very degrading to humans? I mean, if you were in construction field, you take it with a grain of salt. You're like, whatever, and you shake it off. But I'm trying to think, like, if my 12-year-old says this to another 12-year-old, is that going to be like, you are a bully or...
I think that I think both Ainsley and Lennon like know when it's appropriate and when it's not. And like Lennon's, I feel very confident Lennon's not going to go to school and just be the instigator on that or say that to a teacher or another adult. But if somebody throws it at her first, I'm 100% okay with her snapping back.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
bring it on. And if I have to go in and talk to the teachers and, the other kid called her a this and then she responded by calling him a that, unless she dropped an F-bomb, like, I'm probably okay with it. Like, she was responding and my daughter ain't no bitch. Like, she ain't going to take that. That's the way I look at it. So
She's so big and scary. So, okay.
probably not the best way to raise a kid, but that's my mentality.
Man, there probably is no best way to raise a kid. So Kyle, the family, Kyle and his family were on their way over to our house for dinner one night. I guess it was a celebrate birthday or something. And so we're doing straightening up, and our trash can was full. And when they're over, and we have it's 9 humans making trash. So we asked Amelia to take out the trash.
Okay.
And so Amelia went out, took the trash to the trash can, and that's when Kyle and his family came in, and like Amelia came in right behind them. Ainsley's standing in the kitchen. She sees Kyle, Morgan, Abby, Carter, and then Amelia walks in and she looks Amelia dead in the eyes and she goes, Amelia, we told you to take out the trash, not bring it in. And I was like,
and that's the skin. Like, so you guys are cool with that family. It's not like she said this to a random family.
Right.
Like, you guys are all part of the same family.
Yeah.
So that was an appropriate moment. Like,
And I was so proud.
Yeah, I would have been thrilled by that.
I had to go over and give her a high five.
Yep.
Like, this kid has been cracking jokes left and right. And I can tell you, like, I had a very, very proud dad moment because she told a dad joke.
Okay.
About 3 years ago. I'm in the kitchen, like, prepping some sort of meat. That sounds inappropriate.
Prepping your meat?
I was prepping my meat.
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
Morgan has told me she loves my meat, so I was prepping some meat.
Okay.
Anyway.
I love your meat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Ainsley comes in from our back porch, and she has her hands cupped like this. And I kind of look at her. What are you doing? She goes, Dad. I said, yeah, what's up, kiddo? She said, I found a butterfly. And so my response is, my daughter is telling me she found a butterfly. So in my head, I'm thinking, this is where you say, aw, how cute, or it's so beautiful. So that's what comes out of my mouth, like, aw, how cute, it's so beautiful, just like that. And Ainsley goes, but it can't fly, so I guess it's just butter. And I walked away, and I was like, dad joke, yes.
Good work.
And so I feel like I've been doing right.
I think the whole dad joke thing to me, like, I remember when I was a kid, I had a couple. My dad was never a dad joke guy. He was more of a like, get out of here, I'm watching TV kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I had some friends that, like, one of my friends' dads always, anytime I would say anything that, like, oh, I figured it out, he'd look at me and go, Andrew, you're slicker than snot on a doorknob, or something like that. And I would I thought, and the other one was when I said something dumb, he would say, I'm sharper than a marble. And until I was 30, I thought he was complimenting me. Like, at one point around 30, I was like, sharper than a wait a second, like that, perfectly, John. So, but no, and it's one of those where I always used to think like, oh, they're so quick and witty. But I think it's also just, it's one of those, like, with time and living life, you build in little isms, little things you say.
Like autism?
Nah, the person with autism.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
person
with autism.
But no, you kind of like, because now, like, I have those little quick little, like, built-in responses that I've been giving for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And every now and then I'll hit my kid, especially if my kid's around her friends, and I'll hit them with one of those, and I'll be like, oh, and I'm just like, that really? Like, I've said that a million times, and it's never gotten that good of a response. It's just easy to impress kids.
Is that what it is?
Yep. My stepdad used to say, see around like a donut. Jelly filled. That was his line every time we saw him, and it was still hysterical. When I was a kid, I was just like, jelly filled. And now I look back and I'm like, that was the easiest line ever. He never changed it, and every time the kids would get a kick out of it. So,
did we understand it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
I just now got the sharper than a marble reference. So,
like today?
No, I mean, like I said, it was within the last 10 years. It was way after I should have figured it out. So,
what you got drinking right there? TX?
TX, my go-to whiskey when podcasting or watching football. Really, when trying not to waste all my money.
It's affordable and delicious.
As far as affordable whiskeys go, TX is fantastic. So,
there you go. And it has a hefty cork.
Yeah, good for all day drinking, which we highly recommend at the Girl Dad Experience, with the Girl Dad podcast.
All day.
If you're gonna drink all day.
We used to say in College Station, you can't start all day. If you can't drink all day if you don't start first thing in the morning.
Dude, I used to, when I was younger, it was like, oh, it's Sunday, like heading to the bar, start with the Bloody Mary and keep going. And like, I can't bring myself to drink in the morning at all. And like when I go play disc golf, I'll have buddies that'll show up at 8 a.m. and crack their first beer on the tee pad. And I'm just like, dude, like, well, I can't even imagine it. So maybe I'm just getting too old. Maybe I'm a wimp. I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe. Did you and Kyle go play disc golf? You said you were going to do it.
So my wife got COVID. My whole leading into the show last weekend, I was thrilled because
Oh, yeah. How was your weekend?
I was supposed to have the house to myself for a Saturday evening and an all-day Sunday, and I was going to do nothing with that time. I was going to sit on the couch, and I was just going to lounge. And then Saturday morning, getting ready to go to soccer, my wife turns out to have COVID. I had to take my kid to a out-of-town doubleheader, come home, and then be 100% daddy duty for the next 5 days. So yeah, I'm very bitter about last weekend, and I didn't even get to like focus on football. I was with my Sunday by myself. I was going to sit home all day and like really get into football, and instead I colored pumpkins with my daughter.
You're a good dad.
Yeah, I like paper pumpkins, not real pumpkins.
Oh, I was like, man, you guys go all
I'm
out
overstating
over
that.
there.
She would make me blindfold, like put my hand over my eyes and pick a marker and do that 3 times to figure out her 3 colors.
Okay.
And then she would color it while I would sit there and try to watch football.
I see.
That was the game we played all day.
That sounds fun.
It's better than being home alone watching football, I'll tell you that much.
In your tidy whities?
Yeah, no, I should buy a pair of tidy whities just for those moments.
Okay, hold on. Question for you. Did your dad only have tidy whities?
I don't think boxer briefs existed back then. I think boxer briefs were like a mid to late 90s. Like, we should look this up because I don't know for sure. But I think when I was young, it was boxers or briefs.
Right.
And like my dad was a tidy whitey kind of guy.
Me too.
I wore tidy whities like through high school. I remember it was in high school. Like boxer briefs were suddenly a thing. And like I had like Under Armour boxer briefs. And since then, I've been a boxer briefs guy like through and through since then. But
yeah. So I was boxers in high school and I bought a pair.
Okay.
I don't know how you wear. How do people wear? Like, nope.
I can't do whitey tidies. I put on a pair. I guess those are called briefs.
Briefs. They are called briefs.
I had bought a 3-pack of briefs. This is 10 years ago because I was going to start bicycling. Every now and then I get into this thing where it's like I'm going to get in shape and start, and I was going to bicycle.
Yeah.
And for some reason I had it in my head that like briefs make sense for that because I was going to wear like tighter pants. Mm-hmm. I can't wear briefs. There's a Louis C.K. bit about how it gets knotted up.
Knotted up in there.
My body's. I think in that he says like briefs are designed for someone with like negative space in their crotch, and like everything is mashed together down there for me. It doesn't work out well. Yeah, so my body type doesn't do briefs.
I think you said it looks like a pig's tail.
Yep, it's all pink and I can't really say yeah. We should just sit in here and talk about our favorite Louis C.K. bits at some point. Yeah.
I think we might get copyright struck.
You know what? Real quick, him and Michael Jackson, of all the people that got canceled, or they couldn't even cancel Michael. Like of all the people that should have been canceled, Michael probably had the biggest case against him. Probably. And we all just agreed that we like his music enough to where it was like, all right, we can keep listening. Like at no point did they take away the Michael Jackson catalog.
Do you think it's also because he owned the Beatles?
That's true. You can't take away the Beatles catalog. I guess you could.
He owned.
It doesn't matter. Like even at the height of like Michael Jackson going to jail for whatever he had done with kids, like Thriller was still an awesome video, and like it never got pulled from anything. Like
That's
you
true.
could watch that all the way through. And Louis C.K. he pretty much had everything pulled down for like a year, and now he's just back again.
Oh, really?
He's got several things on Netflix right now.
Does he?
He has his own website where
He does.
You pay like $20 and you have access to all of his stand-ups, every one he's ever done for like $20.
I hope he is making really good money off that. You know what's really?
he is.
He had a sitcom.
Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah. With the one on FX or the one on HBO?
HBO.
Okay. Somebody got hurt. Oh, shit. Micah Parsons is hurt and being helped off the field. Kyle, I'm sorry. I know that right now he's not doing well.
And Kyle is in love with Parsons.
Yeah.
He thinks he's just. Well, he speaks very highly of him. He's a monster.
Oh, he's probably one of the best defensive players in the game right now. But he's
Myles
hurt
Garrett.
currently, so...
No, I prefer Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, I went to the same high school as Myles Garrett.
I know.
So, yeah, good transition out of politics.
Right?
Yeah.
You did it. I didn't.
We stuck our toe in with a little politics and got right out.
I'm not afraid of it. I just,
Yeah.
anyway.
I think there's people that are looking to hear about politics, and if they're looking to hear about politics, they're searching it out, and then people that aren't. And I know a lot of people that if they're listening to something that starts to get political, they'll turn it off immediately. So that's why it's like, probably stay out of that one.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we haven't been doing?
What's that?
We haven't been like stopping to do a thumbnail so that I can like crop it out.
It's true.
And thumbnails are.
Do you want to sit on my lap for a thumbnail?
Well,
How about which camera are we looking at?
I don't know. We just got to do something. I was thinking like since Kyle's not here, we could look sad. Like,
Kyle. I am sad Kyle's not here.
I am too.
I truly thought after I told him we're recording without you.
I thought he was
going
gonna come.
Yeah. There's a part of me that still thinks the door is going to like bust open and it's going to be Kyle. And
I hope he doesn't bust it open because Steph's
the
camera's right there.
Yeah. Okay, well.
It's not live, so he's not going to hear this.
Kyle, I'm very sad. Not as sad as he is right now, though.
Because Parsons is hurt.
Yeah, and I think that the Giants, did they catch that? No, he didn't. So never mind. Cowboys just got the ball back. So the Cowboys are going to win, but Parsons is potentially hurt.
I was in the fourth already.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes ago in the 3 minutes to go in the fourth.
Okay.
Cowboys are only up 5 against the Giants.
Yeah,
Not looking good for the season.
that's okay.
So
Yeah, those are I don't know. I feel like I would laugh if I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuttering a lot now because I have a lot of thoughts going through my mind. One is this: the humor that I am kind of instilling on my children, I'm okay with. I think it's funny, and I would want to hang out with that person. And if it's coming from a female and I'm a dude, I'm like, hey, you're someone I really want to be around, and like I feel like that would be good in relationship, like having that kind of sense of humor, one where you can kind of joke around or you're comfortable doing these things. And I feel like I'm setting them up success that way, relationship wise. Is the other parts that my wife is definitely going to have to do, like what to, and then I'm going to have to like display that, like you were saying earlier, be the role model or the example of the relationship that you want your kids to see or to seek out. But a thought came across my mind.
okay.
At what age do I teach her about Dutch oven?
My kid already knows about a Dutch oven. If my kid and me are laying in bed and I even start to grab the covers, she like reflexively like throws her arms above them and is like, no, and like I'll do it just to screw with her. I'll kind of start to pick them up and she knows it's coming. Which I think I've only done it to her once or twice, but she's fully aware of the joys of that. And I think the key is I think both of our daughters are fully capable of understanding this. But it's like, you got to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. You got to know when it's not appropriate.
Yeah.
And I think Ainsley, I'm guessing she has that down. I know Lennon's doing well with it so far. But like, there's a time and a place to be a little immature.
Yeah.
And there's a time and a place where you got to act your age. And well, for her, acting her age is immature. But I feel like she's doing that delicate balance right now.
Yeah.
And I sooner or later, the principal's going to call and be like, she told the teacher to, something terrible, and it's going to be my fault. Like, I will fully own up to it at that point. But right now, we're not there yet, and she's still balancing it well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have faith in that.
That's kind of why I don't use foul language in front of my kids. I don't want them to say it in the wrong location. But anyway, they all have their different senses of humor. Amelia is incredibly witty. And I haven't like talked about her at all. Sorry, Mia, but whenever you see
You get
this
for
in
being
your
the middle
28
kid, Amelia.
Nah, she has her own thing. We have our handshake.
Okay.
It's our special handshake. And I'm not going to teach the other kids because that's me and Amelia.
I'm going to start paying attention so I can find it.
No, we'll do it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking was, am I doing right by having my construction sense of humor bleed off onto my children? And I think so.
If they're responsible enough to handle it, then yes, and I think yours are. So, or at least so far the oldest is. I think Amelia will be too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I kind of right now I kind of enjoy having a kid that's good at being a smart ass. And I still to this day, like if I raise my voice to her, if she just messed up and like she knows to shut it down at that point. Just take what's coming to you. But there's different times where I'm like, what are you doing? And she'll be like, I'm blah, blah, blah. And we'll kind of, and it's fun. I enjoy that. Like, I wouldn't want to have a daughter that if I kind of gave her a hard time, she just started crying or shut down. And she's definitely not that type. So
that's been a chore for me with my girls is like getting to that point where they're not breaking down. Like this happened probably 5 months ago. I was carrying something heavy, and Ainsley was walking incredibly slow in front of me. So I said, "Can you walk any slower?"
She get like really offended by that?
She got really offended by that. Like, I had to have a talking to, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like if I say stuff like that, that's me sarcastically saying walk faster." Not like to be hurtful or hateful. It's just a thing people say. Like, can you walk any slower?
I used to get talking to. I haven't gotten one in a while, but there'd be times where I wouldn't even realize that I'd said something like that got really bothered my kid. And then later my wife will be like, "Hey, that thing you said earlier, like Lennon's really tore." And I'm always like, I'm not sure. Like, what did I say? And it'll turn out that to me it was nothing of consequence, but to her it was a shot. And it's just like, So I said I haven't had that recently, but have had those moments, and it always felt terrible because it's like. I was like, I didn't even realize she's upstairs crying right now because of something I said a minute ago, but okay.
That's never the intention.
No, but if she's crying, then clearly, even though I didn't mean it, it came across a certain way, so let me go try to fix this. But yeah, those are always weird moments.
Yeah. So you were saying like you get a tone or a raise in your voice with Lennon to kind of like straighten it out, like shut it down. Ainsley's gotten to the point where she'll look to me for confirmation, and if I'm like, she's okay, she's learning my like or
yeah. I don't know if it's my face or the tone of my voice or whatever, but like if shit's getting serious right now, like she picks up on it right away, and she does a good job of like dropping what she's doing, eyes on me, like yes sir, no sir, like she knows when it's real, and then she knows when I'm screwing with her, and
that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, so
it's got to be.
Anyhow, got anything else? We can keep talking politics.
Those were my two topics.
Okay. Good talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, good talking to you. Thanks for tuning in. Next Sunday, we'll have another episode, hopefully with Kyle.
Don't forget to smash that like button. I had to say it for Kyle. Yeah, like and subscribe. And this whole episode is going to be the left side of my face. So
well, it'll be my right side.
Yeah, so hopefully the left side of my face is the good side.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for another GD podcast again.
Just isolate that.
Yes. So there was no like, at what age do I teach her about Dutch oven?
Prepping your meat?
I was prepping my meat.
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen.
Okay. It's something that girls don't excel at, and I love your meat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thumbnails are...
Do you want to sit on my lap for a thumbnail?
Will...
What?
Is that not how it goes? No.
You guys are going to get canceled real fast. Do not say that.